Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Lolita Lopez in for Annabelle Sedano. Let's get right over to NBC4's Eric Leonard, where that news conference just wrapped up. Hey, Eric.
Hi, Lolita. So we heard not only from the LA County District Attorney, but also the United States Attorney, the lead federal prosecutor for Southern California, highlighting what they say are some of the nearly 50 cases that have been filed so far. Keep in mind, these are felonies. They describe them as some of the most egregious examples of some of the vandalism and violence that's followed some of those protests in downtown LA. And the prosecutors from both agencies say they're trying to draw a very clear line here between the people who went out to exercise their First Amendment rights and demonstrate peacefully, and those, they say, went out to cause trouble and mayhem as a result.
And I'm here to tell you that 99.99% of the people who protested did so lawfully. This smaller group, which numbers probably in the hundreds, not even in the thousands, this group wanted to commit crimes. They looked at the protests as a cover, an opportunity to go ahead and ply their illegal trade and commit a whole variety of crimes.
Now, also among the new charges announced today, the man suspected of throwing bricks onto CHP officers and cars that were stopped on the 101 freeway back on June 8th. He's been accused in federal court of arson and in local court with assaulting officers and arson. Some other cases announced allege people threw fireworks at police or burglarized businesses following those large demonstrations in downtown LA. One person was caught, accused now of illegally carrying a gun. Another facing a federal conspiracy charge for handing out protective equipment to people out doing some of the, or participating in some of these demonstrations, but authorities say some of the people who got those gas masks and other equipment were actually causing violence. The LA County District Attorney's Office says it's filed about 30 felony cases tied to vandalism or violence that followed protests. Federal prosecutors say that office has filed about 20 of these cases so far. Now, authorities say there are lots of other incidents and events that happened following these protests that are still being investigated. And they say there's going to be announcements and filings of criminal charges both in state and federal court repeatedly in the coming weeks and months. Interestingly, at the end of the news conference today, the U.S. Attorney said his office is also investigating some of the nonprofit groups that may have been organizing or helping to supply the people involved in these demonstrations. The U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley said the IRS's Criminal Investigation Division is now looking into some of these organizations to find out if they were part of a what he began to describe as potentially a conspiracy to commit crimes or violence at the ends of these protests. But he said those investigations are in the early stages. Live at the Hall of Justice, I'm investigative reporter Eric Leonard, NBC4 News. Back to you.
Yeah, lots to unpack there, Eric, considering that the protests were relatively peaceful all throughout. Thank you for that. We'll check in with you later.